There's a lot of different ways to make arrays. So if I want to make an array of integers, I could declare int a with a left bracket, right bracket. A is now, instead of just being an integer, it's an array of integers. It could hold multiple values at once. Okay? What's weird is I could put those brackets on the left side of A. Maybe this time I'll call it B. And now that's an array of integers. Okay? And this works with doubles too, or booleans, or anything else. And you can even put the brackets on the actual declaration. So I could say like double, bracket, bracket. And now I could even declare like multiple things at once. So now I've got like a whole bunch of doubles. Okay? So C is an array of doubles and so on. And you could make an array of booleans if you wanted to. And it's weird. Like you could even just not put a space there. Like that would be an array of booleans. Or I could go like int, and I could put a few spaces. And I could put a bracket, bracket, and then I could put some more spaces. And now that's an array of integers. It's really strange. Like I don't really understand exactly why you have so much freedom here, but that's how it works. Okay, those are all arrays now. Okay, I've got integer arrays, double arrays, Boolean arrays. If we had a circle class in this workspace, we could make arrays out of circles. Or if we had a bank account class in this workspace, we could make arrays of bank accounts. Okay, whatever we wanted, just using this type of syntax. Now, those arrays are not yet initialized. Okay, to initialize an array, you need to give it values. So if I tried to like use these arrays right now, I would get an error message that they're not yet initialized. So what I need to do before I use these is I need to give them values. So the way that I'll give an array values, and you can declare and initialize all at once. So if I make an array here called H of integers, probably the easiest way to initialize it and give it values is just put an open brace there, and then just start putting numbers in with commas in between them. And you can just keep putting more integers in, however many you wanted to. And now you have an array of integers. Those integers are indexed. Okay? So what I mean by that is 3 is at index 0, 4 is at index 1, and so on. The last index of this array would be 5. However, like a string, we would say that the length of that array is 6. Now, speaking of length, it's a little different with the arrays class. Whoever wrote the arrays class chose to make length a public state variable as opposed to a method. You know, I've shown you on the internet, like we can look up the actual source code of the string class and find the length method. If we look up the source code of the arrays class, we'll see a public state variable in there called length. Now, here's the impact of that. So if I wanted to print the length of H, I would actually write h.length, no parentheses, because this is a variable that I'm referencing to, not a method. So it's a little different. String class uses a method, arrays class uses a variable. So slightly different syntax. And like I said, we're going to see this print 6. So if I run this, it displays 6. Okay? So this displays 6. I could have also stored that into an integer had I wanted to. Okay? It's always going to return an integer. All right, last index is 5, but the length is 6. Okay, so that's one way to initialize an array. Here's another way. Let's say we're making an array of doubles, and we call it I. All right, then I could say new double, bracket, bracket, open brace, and now I could start putting some doubles in there. And I could just put whatever doubles I wanted, okay? The length of that array would be 3. Those values would be indexed at 0, 1, 2. This is just a little bit more formal. This is going through the constructor a little differently. if you ever want to create a generic array for some reason, this is how you have to do it. You have to use this process to create a generic array. That shows up in a couple Java bats, and I'll show you what I mean by that tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll try a couple Java bats, and I'll show you how we can create a generic array in some of them.